Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to day 12 of Maimonides on Teshuvah, our 40-day global study of Maimonides program. That is just so much fun. I'm really glad we're studying together. So today we have a strange halacha. It's just one, but it's a long one and kind of complicated. Halacha 3.5. And in general, this halacha is just an illustration of how, God gives us a tremendous number of opportunities to do tshuva, a tremendous number of opportunities to repent of our misdeeds, and it makes it very difficult for us to be judged negatively. So here it goes. And we're talking now in chapter 3 all about how, on Rosh Hashanah, our merits are judged against our demerits, and they're all weighed out, and how many merits there are, how many demerits there are, which one is heavier, and so on. So now a little more detail on the calculation of those merits. When the demerits of a person are calculated against his merits, sins that a person commits once or even twice are not included. It doesn't mean that you're allowed to go ahead, that this is, don't rely on me, please. But only those which are committed 3 times or more are actually calculated. If it turns out that these thrice repeated sins are greater than a person's merits, those 2 earlier occasions are included, and one is judged from them all. Now, what it seems to say on the surface here is that, okay, I said a nasty thing about a person behind their back once, and then I repented for it. Okay, no problem. Twice, repented, no problem for it. The 3rd time, then it counts 3 times. It counts as if I did it 3 times. The first 2, I get a pass, as it appears. Now, listen, really, don't rely on me for this, but I'm just reading what Maimonides says. If one's merits are equal to the thrice repeated sins and onward, then the sins are evaluated individually. The 3rd transgression is considered the first, because the early 2 occasions have already been forgiven. So too the 4th transgression is considered the first, because the 3rd has already been forgiven, and so on. In other words, if you actually count it that way, that the 3rd is actually the first, because the first 2 were already forgiven, so that this is like really creative accounting, but it's all in our benefit. It's all to our benefit. Under what circumstances does this apply? To an individual, as it is written in Job, "For all these things God does, twice or thrice with a man." That is actually the proof text for this entire calculation. I don't want to go into greater detail here. You can see the actual written commentary if you want for more stuff. Regarding a community, however, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd occasions are left hanging, as it is written in Amos. 3 sins of the Jewish people I will discount, but from 4 I will not turn away. These sins are judged. The 4th and later occasions are also judged, meaning much more serious for a collective group to undertake a transgression than for an individual to slip up once or even twice. Now, regarding the intermediates, remember we had 3 categories: the righteous, the wicked, and then a strange intermediate category, the Benoni. If they're included among the half of his demerits, meaning he's at 50% merits, 50% demerits, and in the demerits are included the omission of wearing tefillin, then he is judged according to the nature of sin, but he still has a place in the world to come. Meaning, if one of those that he missed out is not wearing tefillin, phylacteries, very important item in Jewish ritual prayer, if he's missing that, he's not wicked, he still has a place in the world to come, but it's a big thing to miss out on. So too all wicked people whose sins are excessive are judged according to those sins, yet they retain a share in the world to come. For all Israel has a share in the world to come, even though they sin. As it is written, "And your people are all righteous, they will forever inherit the land." This is kind of an interesting thing that Maimonides will return to several times in this book. We have a lot of discussion of sin, a lot of discussion of damnation, and whatever that means exactly in Jewish context, we'll see in later chapters. But he always says, this is like actually only theoretical, because everyone is righteous. It's kind of like that line in A Prairie Home Companion where all the children are above average, right? No one is going to be eternally damned. We will discuss the possibility of damnation later, but it's really not a Jewish thing, according to Maimonides. Let me just say one more thing. I'll finish Allah and I'll say one more thing about non-Jews. The land is an allegory for the land of life, which is the world to come. The righteous people of the nations of the world have a place in the world to come in a similar manner. Oh, actually, so I'm glad I forgot about Maimonides does talk about, he is primarily addressing Jews here. He's writing in Hebrew for a Jewish audience, but he has a typically very expansive view of Jewish philosophy, and he wants to cover every possible topic. And so included here is, well, we're talking about Jews. What about non-Jews? What's their situation? And he says very clearly, unequivocally, the righteous of the nations of the world also have a place in the world to come. This is not, a religion where only Jews have an afterlife. Every righteous person of every background has a possibility to enjoy the afterlife. The difference, which is not discussed here but is discussed elsewhere in Maimonides' work, is that Jews have 613 rabbinic or commandments that are given according to the rabbinic tradition. Non-Jews have 7. Those 7 can be very tough. Like, for example, one of them is establishing courts of law. So once you establish courts of law as one of the 7 mitzvot, there's a whole ton of things that have to go on there, like, rules of evidence and witness tampering and all kinds of stuff like that. They're not so easy, but they are basic, common sense, kind of rational laws of morality that every human society, if they obey them, those basic common sense laws of morality, then they are perfectly entitled to the world to come. Okay, more to discuss about this tomorrow. I hope you have a really great day. Thank you for listening.